Qin Ming's face did not show the joy of being engaged. This marriage was a complete humiliation. Yun Chuzhou, bitch, I won't forgive you. Miss, senior brother Chu who kidnapped someone on the way here with me. Zhu Shan braced herself and reported. Qin Mingzhu was stunned. Senior brother Chu who kidnapped someone? Yes, senior brother Chu who said that he would explain it to you personally. He directly dragged away Dawn. I didn't dare to stop him. Zhu Shan was afraid that Qin Mingzhu would vent her anger on her, so she said carefully. Qin Mingzhu snorted coldly. I didn't expect that Daybreak could actually seduce a man with his disfigured face. Since senior brother Chu who likes him, then let him be. When he gets tired of playing with him, that bitch won't be able to live anymore. When Zhu Shan heard Qin Ming's words, she heaved a sigh of relief in her heart. On the other side, Yun Chuzhou was dragged by Chu Hu all the way forward. Yun Chuzhou wished that she could chop off the hand that Chu Hu dragged her. It was not easy for her to suppress the urge to kill. Chu Hu dragged Yun Chuzhou all the way to a room. Yun Chuzhou's eyes flashed. Damn it, if this Chu Hu wanted to do it forcefully, she could only kill him. Chu Hu stared at Yun Chuzhou maliciously. Bitch, you actually let that idiot replace you last time. This time, you want to climb up the social ladder. Let me tell you, don't even think about escaping from my hands. After saying that, Chu Hu started to take off his outer clothes. Yun Chuzhou gathered her spiritual power in her right hand, and just as she was about to order the little black bird to curse, Chu Hu's identity jade token started to tremble. Chu Hu cursed in his heart. After sending his spiritual sense in, he cursed a few more times, and then said, Bitch, you wait here obediently for me. If you dare to run, it'll make your life a living hell. Chu Hu gave Yun Chuzhou a warning before walking out. Yun Chuzhou saw that Chu Hu's identity jade token could transmit messages, so the voice transmission talisman should be useful as well. Hence, she took out the voice transmission talisman and prepared to send a message to Di Biming. However, what made her depressed was that the voice transmission talisman still could not be sent out. It was simply fucking ridiculous. Yun Chuzhou naturally would not sit around and wait for death. She carefully walked out of the house. Although the courtyard had a protective array, such a low-level protective array still could not stop Yun Chuzhou. After Yun Chuzhou activated the isolation array, she used a small purple needle to attack a point. After a few explosive sounds, the protective array was opened. When Yun Chuzhou was swept over, she had already observed everything. This place was very close to the desolate land, so after she activated the concealment talisman, she headed straight for the desolate land. Yun Chuzhou carefully hid her tracks along the way. Although she met a few people, they weren't at the level of a spirit paragon. She smoothly arrived at the desolate land. Yun Chuzhou gritted her teeth and fixed herself to the well wall with sticky threads. She also covered the well with a stone slab. She thought to herself, even in her dreams, that Chu Hu would never think that she would hide in a place where she almost lost her life. The most dangerous place was the safest place. About 2 hours later, the sound of footsteps came from outside. In order to be safe, Yun Chuzhou not only activated the concealment talisman, but also buried her entire body in the mud. She held a hollow straw in her mouth to breathe. Not long after, someone moved the stone slab at the mouth of the well. It was Chu Hu. Chu Hu looked into the well and found that there was no one inside, but he still shot a few wind blades at the mud. Yun Chuzhou cursed in her heart. Damn it, fortunately, I have a defensive spirit tool on me, and it is deep enough. Otherwise, I will definitely be hacked to death. Bastard, just you wait, I will not forgive you. Chu Hu hacked a few times to see that there was nothing unusual. Then, he covered the slate again and left in anger. Yun Chuzhou did not dare to move. Who knew if Chu Hu would come back? After a while, Yun Chuzhou carefully poked her head out and breathed in the fresh air. She was a cultivator. If she were an ordinary person, she would have fainted long ago. Yun Chuzhou did not dare to act rashly. She decided to stay in the well. Tomorrow was the engagement ceremony. She would go out at noon. When that time came, they would be eating and drinking. It would be easier for her to sneak in. Therefore, she did not care about the dirty smell of the mud. She stuck herself in the mud to endure the time. Chu Hu looked around but could not find Yun Chuzhou. He was furious. However, Qin Yixiao had arranged other things for him. He could only put the matter of finding Yun Chuzhou aside for the time being. After all, it was impossible for her to escape from the Gue Yuan sect. He would settle the score with her after he was done with the important matters. The next day, the Gue Yuan sect was very lively. Many guests had arrived at the towns near the Gue Yuan sect in advance. They had only arrived at the Gue Yuan sect this morning one after another. As there were too many people, the engagement ceremony was arranged on a large square in the Gue Yuan sect. A round stage had already been set up on top of it to hold the ceremony. The guests who had arrived took their seats according to their status. Almost all the influential people in the Tian Yuan continent had arrived. After all, the status of the engagement party was quite high. Those who received the invitation had to give face. The engagement ceremony began in an orderly manner. The only thing that was out of place was that Qin Mingzhu did not smile the entire time. Anyone could tell that she was unwilling to do so. Yin Xuecheng hated her in his heart. Bitch, you have already been fucked by me and you still have such a dead face. Just you wait. When you enter our Yin family in the future, you will see how I will deal with you. An hour later, the engagement ceremony ended. Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua exchanged a few simple words before the banquet began. Qin Yixiao, Yin Qinghua, Yin Qingba and the others kept toasting Di Linhan and the others. Di Linhan and the others could not be too evasive. Besides, they could just use their spirit energy to neutralize the alcohol. Moreover, this was the Gue Yuan sect. There would not be any danger. Hence, in a short period of time, toasts were exchanged, and the host and guests enjoyed themselves. It was a lively scene. Qin Yixiao, Yin Qinghua, and the others, however, had a cunning look in their eyes. After 30 years of wine and 5 different dishes, many people were prepared to stand up and take their leave. They never expected that there would be many Yin family guards and Gue Yuan sect disciples around the square. Qin Yixiao said coldly, "Everyone, since you are here, don't be in a hurry to go back. Stay in Gue Yuan sect for a few more days. Don't worry, Gue Yuan sect will definitely entertain everyone with good wine and good food." Qin Yixiao, what do you mean? Medicine Valleys Bai Li asked unhappily. It's just a literal meaning. None of you can think of leaving today. Yin Qinghua stood beside Qin Yixiao and sneered. Di Linhan frowned, Sect Master Qin, Patriarch Yin, if there's anything we need to discuss, we can discuss it properly. There's no need for such a ruckus. Besides, can you disciples stop so many of us? Discuss properly. Di Linhan, when your Temple of Immortals forced our Yin clan to give up 1/10 of our share of the Spirit Stone Mine, why didn't you discuss it properly with us? To tell you the truth, none of you can think of leaving today. Yin Qinghua said arrogantly. Di Linhan said indifferently, then let's see if you can stop us. As Di Linhan spoke, he gave a look to Towering Angel Bai Li. The two of them went straight for Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua. If they wanted to capture a thief, they had to capture the leader first. If they could capture these two people, those subordinates would not be a threat. At the same time that Di Linhan and Bai Li made their move, Din Huangfu and Xueli also made their move. Their thoughts were the same as Di Linhan's. They wanted to take down Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua first. Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua were obviously prepared. They suddenly jumped back and Di Linhan and the other two were blocked by an invisible barrier. Ha ha ha. Do you think that we are so brainless? Do you think that we will allow you to resist? This is our Yin family's strange dragon trap formation. Your struggles are futile. Yin Qinghua laughed maniacally. The people who were trapped were naturally cursing loudly. The more they acted like this, the more Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua were pleased with themselves. From now on, the powers of the Tian Yuan continent would have to be redivided, and they would no longer be suppressed by the Temple of Immortals. Di Linhan and the others waved their hands to signal for everyone to calm down. Since they had already fallen into the trap, it was better to think of a way to break the array now. Someone took out a voice transmission talisman to inform the secret guards and his family, but found that the voice transmission talisman was not usable at all. He cursed angrily. It seemed that the Guo Yuan sect and Yin family had already made preparations. How sinister! What was even more sinister was still to come. Everyone was horrified to find that their heads were dizzy and their eyelids were getting heavier. Everyone relied on the pain of self-mutilation to get rid of the sleepiness, but the spirit energy in their bodies was actually rapidly disappearing. Bai Li Qin Tian turned pale with fright. As the medicine king of the Tian Yuan continent, he had actually been poisoned. This was simply a great humiliation. Bai Li Qin Tian hurriedly took out an antidote for the spirit-devouring powder and swallowed it, but it was completely ineffective. Di Linhan's heart instantly sank. He thought of the matter with the Hall of Immortals. Could it be the Netherworld powder? But the Netherworld powder was the Netherworld Hall's knockout drug. How could Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua have it? Qin Yixiao, where did you come from with this Netherworld elixir? Could it be that the two of you have colluded with the Netherworld Palace? Di Linhan decided to bluff. Qin Yixiao was stunned at first, he then sneered, I didn't expect you to have such discerning eyes. That's right, this is the Netherworld elixir. Since you have already discovered it, there is nothing to hide. Our Guo Yuan sect and the Yin family have already formed an alliance with the Netherworld Palace. After your forces have collapsed, we will redraw the boundaries of our forces. What? Guo Yuan sect and Yin family had actually colluded with the Netherworld Hall. Qin Yixiao, Yin Qinghua, do you still have any sense of shame? As people of the Tian Yuan continent, you actually colluded with the Netherworld Hall. You are making an enemy out of everyone in the Tian Yuan continent. Xue Li cursed loudly. Yin Qinghua sneered, there is no eternal enemy. We are just doing it for benefits. Cut the crap. If you know what's good for you, you will surrender obediently. Fuck your bullshit. Your conspiracy will not succeed. Sooner or later, you will be punished. You will die a horrible death. You are the sinners of the Tian Yuan continent. Yin Qinghua's old face turned red from Xue Li's scolding, he gritted his teeth and said, Xue Li, go ahead and scold as much as you want. When all of your spiritual powers have dissipated, you will no longer have the slightest ability to resist. When that time comes, I will use you as hostages to threaten your respective powers. Let's see how you can continue to be so arrogant. Xue Li cursed a few more words and then discussed the countermeasures with Di Linhan and the others. Although some of the trapped people were proficient in arrays, but the Yin family's dragon-trapping strange gate array was extremely complicated and there was no way to break it in a short period of time. The worst thing was that their spiritual powers were rapidly dissipating. Even if they could break the array, they would probably have no choice but to surrender at that time. Time passed quickly and the spiritual powers of Di Linhan and the others were dissipating rapidly, but they still had not come up with any good ideas. Right at this moment, several hundred black-clothed men arrived, all dressed in the uniform of the people of the Netherworld Hall. The person in the lead cupped his hands towards Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua. Sect Master Qin, Patriarch Yin, it looks like we are about to succeed. As long as we capture these people, we will be able to defeat these forces one by one. Dharma Protector Zhao, this is all thanks to the netherworld elixir that you provided. That old fool Bai Li Qing Tian has always considered himself to be the medicine king, who would have thought that he would fall into the trap so easily. It really makes people laugh. Yin Qingba said smugly. Bai Li Qingshan's face was flushed red. Although after the previous attack on the Temple of Immortals, Di Lin Han had given him some netherworld elixir for research, but after such a long time, he still had not been able to find a way to break it. I estimate that in another 15 minutes, the spiritual power of these people will dissipate completely. After capturing them alive, we will imprison their spiritual power and feed them the devouring spirit elixir. Our people will watch over them. A trace of cunning flashed in Dharma Protector Zhao's eyes. It was obvious that he was on guard against what Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua were up to. Although Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua were a little displeased, they could only agree. After all, they were in the stage of cooperation and it would not be good for them to shed all pretense of cordiality. Have you controlled the people they brought? I'll leave those people to you to guard, Dharma Protector Zhao continued. Don't worry, none of them can escape. Dharma Protector Zhao, these people are now like fish in a barrel. Can we withdraw the sound blocking array now? This way, we can communicate with the outside world, Yin Qinghua asked. Dharma Protector Zhao nodded, well, withdraw after we capture them all. Sect Leader Qin, will there be any problems with the disciples and servants of your Guo Yuan sect? Qin Yixiao said with a conceited smile, Dharma Protector Zhao, don't worry. Even if they were given 100 guts, they wouldn't dare to betray our Guo Yuan sect. No one noticed that there was a person lying on the roof not far from the square. That person was wearing a veil and his eyes were rolling around. It was Yun Chuzhou who had just crawled out of the dry well. Yun Chuzhou should have come over a long time ago, but this fellow had overslept, so she was an hour later than she had planned. After exiting the dry well, she did not use her concealment talisman and just swaggered towards the plaza. Because this fellow was very certain in his heart that Chu Hu must be extremely busy and would not be able to catch her. Moreover, even if they were to fall out, there was still Di Lin Han. She was not afraid. But after walking for a while, she realized that something was not right. She had not met a single servant on the way. Logically speaking, even if she was very busy, she should not have been unable to meet anyone. Could it be that there was something unusual? Thinking of this, Yun Chuzhou immediately activated the concealment talisman and took off the spirit concealment ring on her hand. She then carefully walked towards the plaza. From afar, she could see a large group of people, and there were also sounds of shouting and cursing. Yun Chuzhou rolled her eyes and circled to the back of a house. After jumping on the roof, she carefully peeked. Although she was a little far away and could not hear what they were talking about, Yun Chuzhou quickly figured out what had happened. Then, she thought of the sound transmission talisman's failure in the courtyard that Chu Hu had once entered. She guessed it right in her heart. She did not expect that Guo Yuan sect and Yin family would actually collude with the Netherworld Palace. They were really stupid. The Netherworld Palace was only using them. Once they had a foothold, they would definitely kill both of their families. It was like asking a tiger for its skin. However, how could they resolve the current predicament? This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yun Chuzhou racked her brains to think of a way to break the formation. Should she rush down to save them? Stop talking nonsense. If she went down, she would be walking into a trap. Moreover, those people who were trapped seemed to have used up all their spiritual power. Even if they really opened the formation, they would still be a burden. She had to think long-term. Yun Chuzhou rolled her eyes and decided that she had to hide under the identity of Daybreak. As for that bastard Chu Hu, she would just have to deal with him when the time came. Moreover, he might not have the time to find trouble with her now. Thinking of this, Yun Chuzhou quietly climbed down from the roof and sneaked near the canteen. She listened for a while and heard voices inside the canteen. She walked in submissively. Lan Xiang was the first to see Yun Chuzhou. She immediately rushed over and cursed, "You bastard. Yesterday, senior brother Chu who was looking for you everywhere. Where did you go? You really know how to be lazy. You came back after we finished our work." Yun Chuzhou lowered her head and said hesitantly, I was afraid of senior brother Chu Hu, so I hid." Lan Xiang pursed her lips. She believed what Yun Chuzhou said because she did not cherish such a good opportunity last time. This ugly monster must have a problem with his brain. Manager Lu also scolded Yun Chuzhou fiercely and then shouted, "Hurry up and work. The higher-ups have ordered to hold a celebration banquet. Hurry up." Yun Chuzhou apologized and then started to build a fire. Where there were people, there would be gossip. The canteen was quiet for a while, and when Manager Lu went out, they all started to talk again. "What's going on? What celebration banquet? Isn't today a good day for the engagement of the eldest miss?" "Yeah, and they don't let us walk around. It's really strange. Who knows what's going on? In any case, let's just do our jobs honestly." While everyone was discussing, Manager Lu came in from outside, and Chu Hu followed him in. Chu Hu immediately saw Yun Chuzhou beside the stove, and he stared at her with a malicious gaze. Then, he said to the people in the cafeteria, "From today onwards, Gue Yuan sect will activate the sect protection formation. Without the sect leader's token, Gue Yuan sect is not allowed to enter or leave. All of you are not allowed to go anywhere else except the cafeteria and the dormitory. Otherwise, you will be killed without mercy. Do you understand?" Although everyone was puzzled, they all nodded in agreement. Chu Hu looked at Yun Chuzhou a few more times, snorted coldly, and walked out. Manager Lu accompanied him with a smile as he walked out. Everyone immediately exploded. "What's going on? Why is the sect protection formation activated all of a sudden? Could it be that a strong enemy is attacking? That's not right. If there's a strong enemy attacking, then we shouldn't have held a celebratory feast." "That's true. Then what's going on?" "Well, know when they come to collect their meal. Let's get to work first." Yun Chuzhou's eyes flashed. Chu Hu did not cause her any trouble just now. It seemed that she was right to block him. He must have a lot of things to do and would not be able to take care of her for the time being. However, the sect protection formation was already activated. It would be very difficult for her to go out and report the news. It seemed that she could only save him. Just as Yun Chuzhou was thinking about it, the voice transmission talisman in her storage ring started to vibrate. Yun Chuzhou's heart was filled with joy. It seemed that the voice transmission talisman could be used. This was great. This way, she could send a message to the pretty boy and the black chicken head. Although Yun Chuzhou wanted to use the voice transmission talisman to send messages right away, she was afraid that others would find out. She could only endure it and wait for an opportunity to find out who sent the voice transmission talisman at night before sending the message. The people in the canteen soon found out the truth of the matter. They were all extremely shocked. What? Their Gue Yuan sect and the Yin family had actually formed an alliance with the Netherworld Palace. This, hasn't our Tian Yuan continent always been at odds with the Netherworld continent? Wouldn't this be making an enemy out of everyone in the Tian Yuan continent? However, after discussing it for a while, they were forced to accept the truth. Those mighty figures had been captured. What was the use of their willingness? It was more important to work hard and keep their lives. Finally, at night, Yun Chuzhou returned to the dormitory. Lan Xiang was still cursing and swearing. Yun Chuzhou's eyes darkened. When she turned around, she directly chopped her unconscious with a hand knife. Yun Chuzhou opened the isolation array and quickly took out the sound transmission talisman. After sending her divine sense in, Di Biming's anxious voice came from inside. Little Jiu, where are you? Have you already left the forbidden area? Yun Chuzhou briefly explained the matter, then said, Prince Charming, quickly organize some people to come over. I will think of a way to save the hostages and destroy the protective array of the Gue Yuan sect. Little Jiu, remember not to be rash. Your safety is the most important thing. Since they want to use my father and the others as hostages, then they will not harm their lives. So don't force yourself. Shui Wuji and I will think of a way to save them. Di Biming warned. Prince Charming, don't worry. I cherish my life. I won't do anything reckless. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. After Yun Chuzhou put away the voice transmission talisman, she calculated that it would take about 4 days for the pretty boy and Wu Ji to rush here. What she needed to do first was to find out where they were locked up, and the location of the core of the sect protecting array. It was not difficult to find out the location of the hostages. There would always be clues for the people who received the food. However, the core of the sect protection formation would probably take some effort. Yun Chuzhou calculated for a while and got Lan Xiang onto the bed. Then, she fell asleep in a daze. The next day, after Lan Xiang woke up, she shouted fiercely, Bitch, did you do something yesterday? Why did I suddenly pass out? Yun Chuzhou said hesitantly, I don't know what happened, but you suddenly passed out. Are you too tired? Lan Xiang stared at Yun Chuzhou and felt that Yun Chuzhou would not have the courage to hit her. Perhaps she was really too tired. Lan Xiang scolded a few more words, and the two of them washed up and went to the canteen to work. Yun Chuzhou observed the disciples and maids who came to receive the meal and gathered some useful information. Damn it! Those people from the Netherworld Palace are really hard to please. Each of them is like a master who treats them with good food and drinks, yet they are still picky. Only senior brother Chu who has a good temper. If it were me, I would have turned hostile long ago. A disciple who came to receive the meal said in dissatisfaction. Alright, stop complaining. What's the use of saying this? Senior brother Chu who didn't say anything, so what's the use of us being dissatisfied? Besides, they are guarding the important figures, so their status is naturally different. TCH. Those big shots are just SOSO, weren't they all obediently captured? Just feeding them a few fasting pills every day, how miserable. Yun Chujia's eyes flashed. It seemed that Di Linhan and the others were not locked together with the secret guards, and were being guarded by the people from the Hall of the Netherworld and Chu Hu. This gave her an opportunity to take advantage of, and she had to make a good plan. Another 2 days had passed. Yun Chuzhou had already figured out the place where Di Linhan and the rest were imprisoned and the secret guards were. However, she did not know where the eye of the array was. Yun Chuzhou gritted her teeth. It seemed that the breakthrough was on Chu Hu. He was Qin Yixio's personal disciple and he definitely knew where the eye of the array was. She had to think of a way to control him. That evening, when she got off work, Yun Chuzhou found a catalyst and went to the courtyard where Chu Hu had held her hostage. Although she was not sure if Chu Hu lived here, she might be able to gain something. Yun Chuzhou walked a few rounds outside the courtyard, but she did not see Chu Hu. Yun Chuzhou rolled her eyes, threw one of her veils on the ground, and returned to the dormitory. When Lan Xiang saw that Yun Chuzhou had returned, she naturally spoke coldly. As usual, Yun Chuzhou treated her like a dog barking. Her expression did not change, but in her heart, she was planning her next step. Unexpectedly, an hour later, someone directly broke into the house. It was Chu Hu. Chu Hu had a cold smile on the corner of his mouth. He went forward and grabbed Yun Chujia's arm. Dawn, I didn't expect you to play the game of playing hard to get with me. Come with me. Yun Chuzhou pretended to struggle a few times and was dragged away by Chu Hu. Lan Xiang spat at the ground. Pretentious bitch. Chu Hu dragged Yun Chujio directly to the courtyard. After entering, he threw Yun Chujio on the bed, then, he took out a veil from his storage ring. I found this at the entrance of the courtyard. What are you doing outside my courtyard? Yun Chujio lowered her head slightly and said shyly, I have thought it through. You are much better than that Yin Shuecheng. I would rather follow you. Chu Hu was stunned at first, then, he laughed wildly. Daybreak, Daybreak, I didn't expect you to finally give in. Back then, I tried so hard to please you, but you didn't even care. Yet, you were moved by a D-biming that you had never met before. TSK, you know your junior sister's character, but you actually dared to like D-biming. You are really courting death. Now that your face has been disfigured and your throat has been damaged, how about you think of me? Bitch, let me tell you, you are just a plaything of mine. Be good and obedient. I won't mistreat you. If you play tricks on me, I will kill you. Yes, I will definitely serve you well. Fuck, I will serve you to hell. Chu Hu was very proud. You are tactful. To tell you the truth, I am going to soar to great heights very soon. Maybe I can help you recover your appearance. All of this depends on your performance. Senior brother Chu Hu, then, let's rest. Chu Hu grinned hideously as he took off his clothes. When he was halfway through taking off his clothes, he suddenly staggered. Then, several small purple needles shot at him. Following the sound of explosions, Chu Hu cried out in pain. This Chu Hu could be considered to have tied himself in a cocoon. He was afraid that Yun Chujio's cry would attract other people, so he activated the isolation array, which happened to help Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio wanted to ask the location of the array core, but the location of the small purple needle was not a vital point. Therefore, even though Chu Hu's body was covered in blood from the explosion, it was not to the extent of losing his life. Yun Chujio restrained Chu Hu's spiritual power and tied him up with a rope. Yun Chujio held the large kitchen knife and sneered, "You want to take advantage of me? You're really courting death. Tell me, where is the array core of your sect protection array?" This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. You are not Daybreak. Chu Hu heard Yun Chujio's voice was no longer dark. He thought of some things and finally realized that the person in front of him was a fake. Of course I am not Daybreak. You have already killed Daybreak. I am her vengeful spirit, and I am here to seek revenge. Yun Chujio said sinisterly. Chu Hu sneered. You don't have to play tricks. Let me go quickly, or else you won't be able to recover. Is there something wrong with your head? If I let you go, why would I arrest you? Cut the crap. Where's the formation's eye? Yun Chujio took the large kitchen knife and cut Chu Hu's arm. Chu Hu was in so much pain that he cried like a ghost and howled like a wolf. However, he did not spit. Yun Chujio was so angry that she cut him a few more times. Chu Hu fainted from the pain, but he didn't spit. He knew that once he said it, he would be of no use anymore, and Yun Chujio would kill him. Yun Chujio was secretly resentful. Damn it, she wasn't a spirit paragon yet, so there was no way to search his soul. How could she make him spit? Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. Got it. She didn't know the soul-searching technique, but she knew hypnosis. Although the effect wasn't as good as the soul-searching technique, it shouldn't be a problem to let Xiao Hong help. Yun Chujio brought Xiao Hong out and then splashed cold water on Chu Hu to wake him up. Chu Hu was already seriously injured, and with the seductive voice of Xiao Hong, Yun Chujio tried a few times and finally succeeded in hypnotizing him. Where is the array eye of the Gue Yuan sect protection array? It's in the secret room of Junior Sister's bedroom. Yun Chujio couldn't help but be stunned. Fuck. What a pervert. He had actually set the formation's eye in Qin Ming's bedroom, but this was indeed unexpected. How many people are guarding the place where Di Linhan and the others are being held? About 400 people, all of them are from the Netherworld Palace. How many people are guarding the place where those secret guards are being held? About 200 people, guarded by our Gui Yuan sect. Yun Chujiu had asked enough questions, so she directly killed Chu Hu. She picked up Chu Hu's identity jade token and storage ring, and then asked the little black bird to destroy the evidence. Yun Chujiu pondered for a moment. Apparently, she should be more relaxed about the guards of the secret guards. She would first think of a way to save them, and then make further plans. Otherwise, she would not be able to do it alone, no matter how talented she was. Xiao Hanio could not help but curse in its heart. At this time, its narcissistic master still did not forget to praise itself. There was really no one else. Yun Chujiu came out of the courtyard, activated the concealment talisman, and walked towards the courtyard where the dark guards were imprisoned. Yun Chujiu did not walk far before she met a group of patrolling disciples. Although Yun Chujiu hid very quickly, she was still discovered by others. Obviously, among these people, there were disciples with the cultivation of spiritual venerable. Who are you? Come out quickly. Or else don't blame us for being rude. Someone shouted angrily. Yun Chujiu thought for a moment and stood out from behind the bushes. She said submissively, "Yes, it's me." Some disciples recognized Yun Chujiu. "This is Daybreak from the canteen." It turned out to be the Miss Personal Maid. Later, she was disfigured and sent to the canteen. The leader of the disciples frowned. "It's late at night. Why are you here instead of staying in the dormitory?" Yun Chujiu lowered her head and said, It's senior brother Chu who wants to see me. I have no choice." Some of the disciples sneered. They said to the leader of the disciples, "Senior brother Zhu, you may not know this, but senior brother Chu Hu's taste is very unique. Recently, he has been very interested in this Daybreak. A few days ago, he was looking for her everywhere. This must have just become a good thing, hee. The leading disciple curled his lips in disdain. Senior brother Chu Hu is really romantic. He is still thinking about this matter at this time. Hurry back to the dormitory. This time, I will give senior brother Chu Hu face. Next time, I will not let you off." Yes, thank you." Yun Chujiu thanked him and staggered away. After Yun Chujiu ran for some distance, she activated the concealment talisman again and continued to run towards the courtyard where the secret guards were imprisoned. Along the way, she encountered two more groups of patrolling people. Yun Chujiu narrowly avoided them, and only after 2 hours did she approach the courtyard where the secret guards were imprisoned. Yun Chujiu's initial thought was quite simple. She thought that it would be the same as the time at the Temple of Immortals, where she would think of a way to sneak in and rescue them. However, when she got close to them, she realized that her thoughts were too naive. Not counting the irregular patrolling disciples, that courtyard alone was surrounded by many Gui Yuan sect disciples. Moreover, Yun Chujiu could not tell the cultivation base of some of them, so they must be at least at the 8th level of the Spirit Saint realm. It was almost impossible to sneak in and save her without her knowing. Most importantly, she did not have any helpers, so she had no time to spare. There was no chance for her to sneak in. It seemed that she had to think of another way. Yun Chujiu squatted behind the bushes and thought hard. Finally, she came up with a bold idea. She quietly stood up and walked around for a distance before swaggering towards the courtyard. Soon, a disciple noticed Yun Chujiu and shouted, "Stop! Who is it?" Yun Chujiu said with a hoarse voice, "Senior brothers, I am here to deliver supper." "Deliver supper? Is there such a good thing?" the leader asked suspiciously. One of the disciples said, "Senior brother Gu, I know her. She is Daybreak from the canteen. Perhaps the higher-ups have worked too hard to meet us, so they sent us supper. Senior brother Gu still asked suspiciously, who asked you to deliver it? Yun Chuzhou took out Chu Hu's token. It was senior brother Chu who arranged for manager Lu. He said that all of you have worked hard. The food at the Netherworld Hall is much better than yours. I feel a little guilty. That senior brother Gu had some doubts at first, but when he heard Yun Chujia's words, he believed her 90%. Firstly, he had Chu Hu's token, and secondly, this maid could not make up those words. Some of the disciples were already impatient. They shouted, Senior brother Gu, we already have senior brother Chu's token, so it can't be bad. We are all hungry now. Dawn, hurry up and bring out the food. Seeing that senior brother Gu didn't say anything, Yun Chuzhou started to bring out the dishes one by one. She was glad that she had stored a lot of food from the Heavenly Yuan Academy's canteen. Otherwise, it would have been difficult to handle. When the disciples saw the steaming dishes, they immediately started to eat. Even senior brother Gu picked up his bowl and chopsticks and started to eat with the others. Yun Chujia's eyes flickered a few times. Eat it, eat it. This was her way of giving someone a taste of their own medicine. She remembered that the Netherworld elixir was found on the bodies of the people from the Netherworld Palace. Senior brothers, you guys eat. I'll leave first. They'll just send the cutlery back to the canteen tomorrow. Yun Chuzhou was afraid that these people would find out that something was wrong with her, so she found an excuse to escape. Of course, she would not run too far away. Instead, she took a detour and hid behind the bushes to secretly look outside. After about an hour, those people began to feel sleepy. However, they thought that it was already late at night, so they didn't doubt it. Yun Chuzhou knew that the opportunity had come. After she activated the concealment talisman, she quickly rushed over. The disciples were all sleepy. When they found Yun Chuzhou was already in front of them. Yun Chuzhou waved a big bag of sleeping powder at them. If it were any other time, these people wouldn't have been affected by the poison as they had spiritual energy on them. However, 70 to 80% of their spiritual energy had already disappeared. Furthermore, they weren't prepared for it, so more than a dozen of them had already fainted from the poison. Yun Chuzhou didn't want to continue fighting. She rushed into the courtyard through the opening. Those people naturally wouldn't let the matter rest. They chased after her in a hubbub. Yun Chuzhou released the three silly girls and Xiao Mogu. You guys hold on. I'll go in and save them. The three silly girls suddenly had a sense of mission. Although their spiritual power was not very high, these disciples were all hit by the Netherworld elixir and only had 10 to 20% of their spiritual power left. It would not be a problem to stop them for a while. Moreover, Xiao Hanio could attack from the air. Those disciples did not put the three little ones in their eyes. As for the Xiao Mogu, they did not see it. They thought it was just an edible mushroom that Yun Chuzhou had accidentally dropped. Xiao Hong roared and the disciples were slightly stunned. The Xiao Hanio's fireball immediately attacked them. The Xiao Hei used its little claws to attack left and right, sending one flying with each claw. It was extremely efficient. Xiao Mogu secretly poked the mycelium out and entangled a few disciples. The disciples were shocked. Fuck! What the hell was this? They quickly used their spiritual power to attack Xiao Mogu's mycelium, trying to cut it off. Unfortunately, the effect was very weak. The spiritual power in their bodies was quickly absorbed by the mycelium, and even their bodies began to corrode. The disciples were immediately frightened to the point of wailing like ghosts and howling like wolves. Xiao Mogu was very cunning. Seeing that these people no longer had any power to resist, he simply let them go and then went to stop the disciples who wanted to enter the house. The disciples who were frightened by Xiao Mogu's release were scared out of their wits. They no longer dared to rush in. They ran out of the house in terror, and for a moment, they were in a mess. While the fight was intense, Yun Chujiu had already rushed into the room. There were hundreds of secret guards lying on the ground. They were probably fed with the spirit-devouring powder and sleeping powder. Yun Chujiu poured a few basins of cold water on a few secret guards dressed in the Temple of Immortals. After feeding them the antidote for the spirit-devouring powder, she ordered, "Quickly save the rest and follow me to rush out. Quick! We have to save those mighty figures before the others arrive." Those secret guards were a little dumbfounded. Who were those people? Why did they feel a little familiar? However, now was not the time to be stunned. They quickly woke up the others and fed them the antidote. They did not dare to delay. According to Yun Chujia's instructions, they rushed out and killed those people from the Gue Yuan sect in less than 15 minutes, however, there were still people who escaped to deliver the letter. Yun Chujiu also knew that it was impossible to seal the news. After all, those people still had their identity jade tokens, so they had to hurry up. Yun Chujiu put away the three silly cuties and Xiao Mogu and led everyone towards the courtyard where Di Lin Han and the others were being held. Yun Chujiu felt that the veil on her face was getting in the way, so she simply tore it off. Only then did the secret guards of the Temple of Immortals realize, "Oh my god, isn't this fairy Xiao Jiu? What the hell was on her face? Was she disfigured?" Word spread like wildfire. Everyone knew that they had been saved by Yun Chujiu. They didn't know why, but when they found out that the little girl in front of them was Yun Chujiu, they immediately felt confident. Damn it, last time, little fairy Jiu alone was able to turn the tide. Now, she can definitely bring us to save the sect leader. Certainly can. Yun Chujiu ran as she distributed the supreme-grade explosive talismans to the secret guards. "When the time comes, listen to my command. When I say explode, throw it out. Do you hear me?" The secret guards of the Temple of Immortals were better off. The secret guards of the other forces looked at the thick pile of supreme-grade explosive talismans in their hands and felt that their worldview had been severely impacted. Emma, this little fairy Jiu was indeed not human. Where did she get so many supreme-grade explosive talismans from? Could it be that she had drawn them all herself? This was just too perverse. Everyone quickly rushed to the courtyard where Di Lin Han and the others were being held. Yun Chujiu had everyone spread out and surrounded the entire courtyard to prevent the people from the Hall of the Netherworld from moving them. When the secret guards from the Hall of the Netherworld heard that there was a disturbance in the distance, they immediately stepped up their vigilance. Now that they saw Yun Chujiu bringing people over, they immediately assumed a battle stance. Yun Chujiu instructed Xiao He, Xiao Mogu, and Xiao Mogu to go underground under the cover of the Dark Guards. "Come. Let's give them a big fireworks display." Yun Chujiu curled her lips and waved her hand. Following Yun Chujiu's words, the Dark Guards threw the explosive talismans in their hands at the Dark Guards of the Netherworld Palace. Loud explosions rang out continuously. The Dark Shrine's Dark Guards did not expect these people to explode at the slightest disagreement. Although they did not kill many, most of them were injured and their imposing manner instantly weakened. The Dark Shrine's Dark Guards were originally full of confidence and planned to fight to the death with these Dark Guards. However, they did not expect them to not fight at all. They were all here with cheats. Dharma Protector Zhao was also a cunning old fox. He immediately ordered, "Bring those people over as hostages. I want to see if they still dare to make a move." Very quickly, Di Lin Han and the rest were brought over by the Dark Guards of the Hall of the Netherworld. The people around the courtyard had also withdrawn, and the two sides were in a standoff. As it was night time and Yun Chujiu had many fake scars on her face, Di Lin Han and the rest did not recognize Yun Chujiu. They were still wondering who this little girl was. Could it be that she was the one who rescued their secret guards? She was wearing the Gue Yuan sect's uniform. Could it be that she could not stand the Gue Yuan sect's way of doing things, so she acted righteously? Dharma Protector Zhao did not recognize her either. He sneered and said, "Who are you? Could it be that you are the Gui Yuan sex mole? I advise you to surrender obediently, or I will kill these hostages." "Yo, are you trying to scare ghosts? Without these hostages, you are nothing. Without these hostages as a hostage, how can your netherworld Hulk conquer the Tian Yuan continent? If you dare to kill these people, your Vice Palace Master Lu will skin you alive." Yun Chujiu curled her lips and said mockingly. Only then did Di Linhan and the others recognize that it was Yun Chujiu's voice, and their hearts were filled with mixed feelings. During the previous competition in the Burning Sky Plains, it was the little girl who descended from the sky to save the situation. This time, it was this little girl who stood up again. Speaking of which, how did she come in? Di Linhan was even a little suspicious. Could it be that the little girl, Little Jiu, was mischievous and had snuck in among his secret guards? Then how did she escape? Some people from the Netherworld Hall also recognized that it was Yun Chujiu's voice, because some of them had been to the Burning Sky Mystic Realm before, and they immediately cried out in surprise, "Dharma Protector Zhao, this stinky little girl is Yun Chujiu." Dharma Protector Zhao was stunned for a moment before he gritted his teeth and said, "So it's you. You are really the sworn enemy of our Netherworld Hall. Every time you come out to stir up trouble, today is the day you die. Bring Di Linhan here." This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Di Linhan was pushed over and Dharma Protector Zhao said viciously, "Yun Chujiu, surrender obediently or I will kill Di Linhan." The corners of Yun Chujiu's mouth curled up. "Kill my uncle? Do you think I am a fool? My uncle is an important bargaining chip for you to use against my big brother Bei Ming in the future. If you kill my uncle, I guess your Vice Palace Master Lu will definitely reward you well. He might even reward you with 1,000 cuts." Dharma Protector Zhao had never seen such a threatened target before. Under normal circumstances, shouldn't she be obedient or angry out of humiliation? Why did Yun Chujiu look like she didn't care? Most importantly, what she said was right. Dharma Protector Zhao really didn't dare to kill Di Linhan. Di Linhan was a very important hostage. If it weren't for him, it would have been impossible to capture the Temple of Immortals. Dharma Protector Zhao gritted his teeth and said, "Bring that old fool, Huangfu Zhonghen, here." "Yun Chujiu, this Huangfu Zhonghen isn't that useful. If you don't surrender obediently, I'll kill him." Dharma Protector Zhao pointed his sword at Dean Huangfu and said. Yun Chujiu had a shocked expression on her face. "Dharma Protector Zhao, are you out of your mind? TSK, I really don't know why Vice Palace Master Lu would give such an important task to you. Dean Huangfu isn't that useful. There are tens of thousands of students and teachers in the Tianyuan Institute. If you don't have Dean Huangfu, do you think those people would be obedient? Besides, only Dean Huangfu knows where all the treasures of the Tianyuan Institute are hidden. Are you sure you want to kill him?" Although Dharma Protector Zhao didn't want to admit it, he felt that Yun Chujiu's words made sense. He really couldn't kill this Huangfu Zhonghen. Dharma Protector Zhao then changed a few hostages to threaten Yun Chujiu, but they were all rejected by Yun Chujiu with various reasons. Di Linhan and the others were stunned. The people from the Hall of the Netherworld were stunned. The hidden guards behind Yun Chujiu were also stunned. They could still play like this. Dharma Protector Zhao held a group of hostages in his hands, but why did it feel like the initiative was always in Yun Chujiu's hands? This was too illogical. Dharma Protector Zhao also realized that he had been brought into the ditch by Yun Chujiu. He was so angry that his face turned red and his neck was thick as he said, "Yun Chujiu, don't try to be clever. Although I can't kill them, but I can still chop off an arm or a leg. You better surrender now, or I will chop off one of Di Linhan's arms. Chop off an arm, then I have to think about it. Give me some time, I will discuss it with them." Yun Chujio said in a fluster. Dharma Protector Zhao saw that Yun Chujio had finally revealed a flustered expression, and only then did he feel that he had regained some face. He said viciously, I will at most give you half a quarter of an hour to think about it. If you do not surrender when the time is up, not only will I have to cut off Di Linhan's arm, the rest of you will also have one of your arms cut off. All right, all right, all right. We will discuss it right away. You must not be impulsive. Being impulsive is the devil. Once you make a decision out of impulse, the consequences will be unimaginable. That is why people must think twice before doing anything. Not only must you consider the cause, you must also consider the consequences. Yun Chujio rambled on and on about the topic of, you cannot be impulsive. Dharma Protector Zhao didn't react at first, but by the time he did, Yun Chujio had already spoken for 15 minutes, he was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Yun Chujio, you are deliberately stalling for time. Hurry up and make a decision, or I will give the order to attack. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Dharma Protector Zhao, you're really impatient. When Qin Xiao and Yin Qinghua, those two old bastards, come, won't I be attacked from both sides? I'm not even in a hurry, why are you in such a hurry? Yun Chujio curled her lips, she began to discuss with the secret guards. Among those secret guards, there were a few who reacted quickly. They deliberately went against Yun Chujio to stall for time. Little Fairy Jiu, although you saved our lives, we don't want to sacrifice ourselves for others. That's right. It wasn't easy for us to escape. We won't surrender just because of these mighty figures. That makes sense. We only have one life. Compared to our lives, nothing else is important. Little Ninth Fairy, we don't agree to surrender. Yun Chujio pretended to be angry and said, how can you people not see the big picture? If these mighty figures die, how can we fight against the Netherworld Hall? The two sides argued non-stop and 15 minutes passed very quickly. Dharma Protector Zhao said with disdain, you people are really cowardly. You people of the Tianyuan continent are not only greedy but also cowardly. You shouldn't have taken such good resources from the Tianyuan continent. Yun Chujio raised her eyebrows. Dharma Protector Zhao, from what you said, you people of the Netherworld continent are very brave, right? If I took you as a hostage, wouldn't you beg for mercy? Humph. That's only natural. I would rather die than betray the Netherworld Palace. Cut the crap, what's your decision? Dharma Protector Zhao said with his lips curled up. Our decision is naturally to have it both ways. We will not surrender, but we will also save the person. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Dharma Protector Zhao could not help but laugh maniacally. Yun Chujio, are you talking in your sleep? Since you're so stubborn, someone come and chop off one of Di Linhan's arms. Di Linhan closed his eyes and thought to himself, what little Jiu did was the right thing to do. It did not matter if he lost one of his arms, but if she were to surrender, then he would lose everything. What he did not expect was that Di Linhan did not feel the blade coming down, but instead heard a few cries of surprise. Di Linhan quickly opened his eyes to look and saw that Dharma Protector Zhao and the person who had been holding him were trapped by something. It seemed to be the mycelium of a mushroom. After Xiao Mogu restrained Dharma Protector Zhao and the others, it retreated to Yun Chujio's side and said, Master, my spiritual power is not going to be able to hold on much longer. You have to end the battle quickly. Yun Chujio immediately signaled for everyone to restrain the few people that they had captured. Yun Chujio used her knife to press on Dharma Protector Zhao's neck and said, Dharma Protector Zhao, you were speaking righteously just now. I wonder if you are still stubborn now. Dharma Protector Zhao never would have dreamed that a moment ago, he was still threatening Yun Chujio. In the blink of an eye, he had become a hostage. How was this possible? It was all this damn mushroom's doing. However, he was at the 5th level of the spiritual venerable realm. How could he be so easily captured by this unremarkable Xiaomogu? Right, he seemed to have one foot pulled just now. Then, he fell into the trap. What was it that pulled his foot? Seeing that Dharma Protector Zhao didn't say anything, Yun Chuzhou directly cut his back. Dharma Protector Zhao cried out in pain. Yun Chuzhou said fiercely, "Get your men to release the hostages, or I'll kill you." Dharma Protector Zhao's eyes flickered. "Yun Chuzhou, you don't dare to kill me. I'm your only bargaining chip. If you kill me, you'll have nothing to rely on." Chapter 1601, He wanted the 1,600th octopus and the bear paw. Dharma Protector Zhao, you're really impatient. When Qin Xiao and Yin Qinghua, those two old bastards, come, won't I be attacked from both sides? I'm not even in a hurry, why are you in such a hurry? Yun Chuzhou curled her lips, she began to discuss with the secret guards. Among those secret guards, there were a few who reacted quickly. They deliberately went against Yun Chuzhou to stall for time. "Little Fairy Jiu, although you saved our lives, we don't want to sacrifice ourselves for others." "That's right. It wasn't easy for us to escape. We won't surrender just because of these mighty figures." "That makes sense. We only have one life. Compared to our lives, nothing else is important. Little Ninth Fairy, we don't agree to surrender." Yun Chuzhou pretended to be angry and said, "How can you people not see the big picture? If these mighty figures die, how can we fight against the Netherworld Hall?" The two sides argued non-stop and 15 minutes passed very quickly. Dharma Protector Zhao said with disdain, "You people are really cowardly. You people of the Tianyuan continent are not only greedy but also cowardly. You shouldn't have taken such good resources from the Tianyuan continent." Yun Chuzhou raised her eyebrows. "Dharma Protector Zhao, from what you said, you people of the Netherworld continent are very brave, right? If I took you as a hostage, wouldn't you beg for mercy?" "Humph. That's only natural. I would rather die than betray the Netherworld Palace." "Cut the crap, what's your decision?" Dharma Protector Zhao said with his lips curled up. "Our decision is naturally to have it both ways. We will not surrender, but we will also save the person." Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Dharma Protector Zhao could not help but laugh maniacally. "Yun Chuzhou, are you talking in your sleep? Since you're so stubborn, someone come and chop off one of Di Linhan's arms." Di Linhan closed his eyes and thought to himself, what little Jiu did was the right thing to do. It did not matter if he lost one of his arms, but if she were to surrender, then he would lose everything. What he did not expect was that Di Linhan did not feel the blade coming down, but instead heard a few cries of surprise. Di Linhan quickly opened his eyes to look and saw that Dharma Protector Zhao and the person who had been holding him were trapped by something. It seemed to be the mycelium of a mushroom. Please reading on Maibo XNO Velcom. After Xiaomogu restrained Dharma Protector Zhao and the others, it retreated to Yun Chuzhou's side and said, "Master, my spiritual power is not going to be able to hold on much longer. You have to end the battle quickly." Yun Chuzhou immediately signaled for everyone to restrain the few people that they had captured. Yun Chuzhou used her knife to press on Dharma Protector Zhao's neck and said, "Dharma Protector Zhao, you were speaking righteously just now. I wonder if you are still stubborn now." Dharma Protector Zhao never would have dreamed that a moment ago, he was still threatening Yun Chuzhou. In the blink of an eye, he had become a hostage. How was this possible? It was all this damn mushroom's doing. However, he was at the 5th level of the spiritual venerable realm. How could he be so easily captured by this unremarkable Xiaomogu? Right, he seemed to have one foot pulled just now. Then, he fell into the trap. What was it that pulled his foot? Seeing that Dharma Protector Zhao didn't say anything, Yun Chuzhou directly cut his back. Dharma Protector Zhao cried out in pain. Yun Chuzhou said fiercely, get your men to release the hostages, or I'll kill you. Dharma Protector Zhao's eyes flickered. Yun Chujiu, you don't dare to kill me. I'm your only bargaining chip. If you kill me, you'll have nothing to rely on. Oh, your IQ has gone up. I thought you didn't bring your brain with you. Yun Chujiu said mockingly. Dharma Protector Zhao was so angry that he was twitching. It's not that my brain isn't working, it's that I've never met a pervert like you who doesn't play by the rules. How about this, let's make a deal. 1 for 1. I can release you, but you also have to release one of our hostages. You can discuss who you want to release. Yun Chujiu said with a smile. Dharma Protector Zhao was delighted. This Yun Chujiu was really smart and muddle-headed. As long as he was released, he could use other hostages to force her into submission. Thus, he said, sure. Let's use sect leader Me of the Setting Sun sect to exchange. Dharma Protector Zhao deliberately picked an unimportant hostage, but he didn't expect Yun Chujiu to agree so readily. Sure. You guys untie the ropes on him. I'll untie the ropes on you too, and then release him at the same time. The people of the Netherworld Hall naturally had to listen to Dharma Protector Zhao. Seeing that Dharma Protector Zhao had agreed, they quickly untied the ropes on sect leader Me of the Setting Sun sect. Both sides counted to 3 at the same time and began to exchange hostages. The people of the Netherworld Hall focused their attention on Dharma Protector Zhao and sect leader Me. They were afraid that Yun Chujiu would take the opportunity to do something. However, they did not realize that Xiao Mogu had disappeared without a trace. From afar, the sound of footsteps could be heard. It was obvious that Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinhua had already brought people over. The people of the Netherworld Palace were even more pleased with themselves. Once the reinforcements arrived, these people would definitely die, although it was a little dangerous. Fortunately, it was just a false alarm. Just as Dharma Protector Zhao and Sect Master Mi brushed past each other, Yun Chujiu suddenly jumped up and aimed at Dharma Protector Zhao with a few little piglets of spiritual energy. Dharma Protector Zhao felt a spiritual power fluctuation behind him and hurriedly activated his defensive barrier. He then threw a palm strike at Yun Chujiu. Stinky girl. You actually didn't keep your word. Aren't you afraid that I'll kill those hostages? Yun Chujiu snorted coldly and threw out a few things. Before the people of the Netherworld Palace could see what they were, a few people guarding the hostages were entangled by Xiao Mogu's mycelium. At this moment, they also saw clearly that Yun Chujiu had thrown out 5 refined iron puppets. Those people were stunned at first. Weren't refined iron puppets used for defense when they were escaping? What was Yun Chujiu doing with 5 puppets now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, protect the hostages. Don't just stand there. Go, kill as many as you can. Yun Chujiu said as she attacked Dharma Protector Zhao. Although her spiritual power was not as high as Dharma Protector Zhao's. However, this fellow had plenty of defensive spirit tools on him. It would not be a problem for him to only attack and not defend. Those hidden guards had been holding back for a long time. When they heard Yun Chujiu's order, they immediately charged forward and started to fight with the people from the Hall of the Netherworld. Dharma Protector Zhao was worried about the hostages. If there were no hostages, then this operation would be a waste. He shouted at everyone, "Watch over the hostages. Watch over the hostages." The people from the Hall of the Netherworld naturally knew that the hostages were the most important. But firstly, a few people had been killed by Xiao Mogu. Secondly, Xiao He had bitten off the ropes on the hostages. Although Di Linhan and the others had not recovered their spiritual powers, but their movement techniques were still there. They could still hold on for a while. The most important thing was that the 5 fine iron puppets were just too sick. They were not afraid of the attacks from the people from the Hall of the Netherworld at all, and covered the hostages as they retreated towards Yun Chujiu's side. Yun Chuzhou simply took out a large handful of the antidote for the devouring spirit powder and threw it towards Di Linhan and the others. Uncle, the antidote. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Di Linhan and the others caught the antidote and stuffed it into their mouths. Their spiritual powers gradually recovered. Although they had only recovered a portion of their spiritual powers, the people from the Hall of the Netherworld could not hold on any longer and all of them fled in all directions. Dharma Protector Zhao saw that the situation had turned for the worse and gritted his teeth. With a feint, he fled as well. Yun Chuzhou shouted, "Ignore them and quickly retreat into the courtyard. Stay alert around the courtyard and prepare for the next round of battle." The secret guards did not care whether their master agreed or not. They just spread out according to Yun Chuzhia's instructions and began to stand guard. Those mighty figures rubbed their noses. "All right, our subordinates have been subdued by the little girl in such a short time." Before those mighty figures could say anything, Yun Chuzhou said, "Don't thank me yet. Quickly meditate and recover your spiritual power. I reckon that the Netherworld Hall won't be able to do so little. There must be a big move waiting for us." Those almighty experts had no choice but to start meditating and recuperating. In order to prevent them from escaping, they were given a lot more devouring spirit powder than those secret guards. Therefore, although they had taken the antidote, in order to recover to their best condition, they would need to recuperate for a period of time. Just as Yun Chuzhou finished giving her instructions, Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinhua led their disciples and surrounded the courtyard. Yun Chuzhou could not help but feel a bit of a toothache. The number of people on the opposite side was more than 10 times that of our side. Even if they were tired, they could exhaust us to death. Most importantly, this was Gue Yuan sect's territory. They had the geographical advantage, and our side was at a disadvantage everywhere. Qin Mingzhu followed behind Qin Yixiao. When she saw the clothes on Yun Chuzhia's body and the scars on her face, she immediately blurted out, "You pretended to be Dawn." Yun Chuzhou giggled, "Qin Mingzhu, you are quite smart. Then I don't understand why such a smart person like you would do such a stupid thing. You guys have formed an alliance with the Netherworld Palace. Isn't this like asking a tiger for its skin? Aren't you guys afraid that the Netherworld Palace will not keep its word after the deed is done? If the powers like the Temple of Immortals do not perish, everyone will have to work together to fight against the Netherworld Palace. With just your Gue Yuan sect and Yin family, won't they be gnawed until not even bones are left?" Qin Mingzhu sneered, "Yun Chuzhou, you don't have to be so glib. You should mind your own business first. After what you've done, the only difference is that we have one more hostage. Do you think you can escape?" Yun Chuzhou rolled her eyes, "Tisk. Of course, we can escape. The most important thing in a war is the essence, not the quantity. Let's not talk about you people, just those trash from the Netherworld Palace are too weak. They can't even hold a hostage, yet they still dare to dream of conquering our Netherworld continent. They really overestimate themselves." Hearing Yun Chuzhia's words, Dharma Protector Zhao's eyes turned red, as if he was hesitating about something. Yun Chuzhou continued to say, "And that Dharma Protector Zhao, he even called himself a Dharma Protector. Tui. Not only is his spiritual power low, but his brain is also not functioning properly. He's simply an idiot. I don't know how he became a Dharma Protector. Could it be that he bought it with money?" Dharma Protector Zhao was silent for a moment with an inexplicable expression, then, he smiled coldly and said, "Yun Chuzhou, no wonder Vice Palace Master Lu said that you can't be underestimated. I really underestimated you. You really have a belly full of bad water. However, I'm afraid that you'll be disappointed. Now that our side has the absolute advantage, why do we need to bring out our trump card?" Yun Chuzhou cursed in her heart. Damn it, he's still quite smart. They actually didn't fall for it. What was their trump card? This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yun Chujio felt that the people of the Netherworld Hall must have some big tricks up their sleeves. However, it was useless to provoke them, so she could only wait and see. Yun Chujio had just communicated with Di Biming. Di Biming and Shui Wuji would need at least half a day to reach the Gue Yuan sect, so they had to delay the time. Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua had also considered this point. They wanted to finish the battle as soon as possible, so they waved their hands and ordered to attack. Yun Chujio smiled coldly. Little ones, blow them up. I have plenty of explosive talismans here. Blow them all to death. Di Linhan and the others did not bother to adjust their breathing. They spread out and helped the hidden guards to guard the surroundings of the courtyard. With the explosive talismans and the attacks of Di Linhan and the others, the first wave of attacks from the Gue Yuan sect and the Yin family were blocked. Yin Qinghua smiled sinisterly. Continue to attack. I don't believe that the explosive talismans on their bodies cannot be used up. I'm sorry. I have hundreds of thousands of explosive talismans on me. Of course, what Yun Chujio said was not the truth. However, she just happened to have a batch of explosive talismans that she wanted to send to the Thunder sect, so she could use them against the enemy. Although Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua did not believe that Yun Chujio really had so many explosive talismans, they were so angry that they gritted their teeth when they saw the endless supply of explosive talismans on Yun Chujio's side. Why did this wretched girl have so many talismans for no reason? It was really detestable. The second wave of attacks from the Gue Yuan sect and the Yin family were also blocked. Just as Qin Yixiao was about to launch the third wave of attacks immediately, flames soared into the sky from a distance. There were actually several places that were on fire. Qin Yixiao took a look and saw that the ones that were on fire were actually the library, the warehouse, and the living room. He stomped his feet anxiously and said, "Send half of our men to quickly put out the fire." Why is there a fire all of a sudden? Yun Chujio was also puzzled. Although she had sent Xiao He out, she only asked it to think of a way to destroy the array core. Who was the one who set the fire? Yun Chujio suddenly had a thought. Could it be the potential stock that I invested in? It was most likely done by Ziheng. This kid was quite smart. He knew to surround Wei to save Zhao, but don't get caught. You are my future money tree and mascot. Don't die just like that. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. She said loudly, "Disciples of the Gue Yuan sect and disciples of the Yin family, listen up. You are all people from the Tian Yuan continent. You followed Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua to help the wicked. Don't you feel pain and struggle in your hearts? Your family and friends are all from the Tian Yuan continent. Once we all die, do you think the Nether Hall will keep their word if they take over the Tian Yuan continent? You will all die in the end. Do you know why you are on fire? This is God's warning to you. If you are still stubborn, maybe God will send down lightning to strike you." As expected, after hearing Yun Chujio's words, the disciples of the Gue Yuan sect and the Yin family had a slight commotion. They were naturally unwilling to do so from the bottom of their hearts. They were just following the arrangements of the higher-ups. Qin Mingzhu immediately said, "Don't listen to Yun Chujio's nonsense. A good man's ambition is everywhere. As long as we kill them, the influence of the Gue Yuan sect and the Yin family will expand endlessly. At that time, all of you will have a meteoric rise. With money and power, are you afraid that you won't be able to take care of your family and friends?" When those people heard Qin Mingzhu's words, their initially wavering thoughts turned towards the Netherworld Palace. The eldest miss was right. As long as we have money and power in our hands, who cares about their conscience? Yun Chujio's eyes deepened. "Io, are you comparing words with me? Little bitch, look at how I've tricked these people into betraying us today." This chapter is a preview. if you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yun Chuzhou sighed. Originally, your life and death have nothing to do with me. However, I have always been a soft-hearted person. I cannot just stand by and watch as you are deceived by Qin Mingzhu. I will only ask you one thing. Do you think that in the future, you will be on equal footing with the people of the Netherworld Palace? Let's not talk about the distance. Let's talk about the people in front of you. Their food is much higher than yours. Now, it is you who are charging into the battle. The people of the Netherworld Palace are sitting back and enjoying the fruits of their labor. No matter how foolish you are, you should understand how high and low your status is, right? Right now, all of you are still useful to me. If I were to treat all of you like this, it can be imagined that in the future, once all of the powers like the Temple of Immortals are eliminated, your fate will either be lower than others or you will be killed to keep your mouths shut. If you don't want to be good people, do you really have to be the servants of the Netherworld Palace? Moreover, do you think that the money and power that you have obtained will be enjoyed by your family and friends in peace? Do you still have the face to meet your ancestors in the future? Most importantly, do you think that you can succeed? Admittedly, we are trapped by you now, but are you confident that you can kill us before the reinforcements arrive? These mighty figures only did not use their full strength because they thought that they were all compatriots. Otherwise, just the poison of Old Man Bai Li alone could kill you. Elders of the Gue Yuan sect and the Yin family, do you really believe in the actions of Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua? Now is the time for you to step forward. As long as you capture them, the Gue Yuan sect and the Yin family will return to the right path. Otherwise, the tens of thousands of years of foundation of the Gue Yuan sect and the Yin family will be destroyed in an instant. All of you, immediately abandon the dark and join the light. I, Yun Chuzhou, swear on my life that I will let bygones be bygones. I will give all of you 15 minutes to consider. Once the time limit is up, even if all of you want to abandon the darkness and join the light, we will not accept it. When Yun Chuzhou said this, Qin Mingzhu wanted to interrupt her several times. However, Yun Chujia's speed of speech was really too fast. Moreover, her voice was very clear, and everyone present could hear it clearly. Those mighty figures were all shocked to the point that they were dumbfounded. Damn, this little girl actually didn't even pause after saying so much. What kind of brain did she have? Bai Li Qingshan's face turned red. Although he was the medicine king, poison had a limited effect on cultivators. Unless it was taken by surprise or eaten directly, the moment the defensive barrier was opened. The poison basically had no effect. The reason why everyone was affected this time was firstly because the netherworld dispersion was colorless and tasteless. There was no way to distinguish it. Secondly, no one had expected that the Gue Yuan sect and Yin clan had colluded with the Netherworld Palace. They were all caught off guard and fell into the trap. After the people from Gue Yuan sect and Yin clan heard Yun Chujia's words, many people immediately hesitated, especially some elders. Their positions in Gue Yuan sect and Yin clan were not low to begin with, they were not willing to take such a risk and become enemies with the entire Tian Yuan continent. Moreover, if they betrayed them now, they could use this opportunity to get rid of Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua. Perhaps, they would be able to rise to the top. This was truly a good opportunity. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes, she decided to put in more effort. To tell you the truth, His Excellency and young Master Wuji will be arriving with reinforcements soon. Do you think you still have a chance of winning? Are you going to be prisoners or are you going to be upright? Good and evil can be done in a moment. It's still not too late to rein in our horses. As long as we combine our forces, it will be easy for us to deal with the people of the Netherworld Palace. What are you waiting for? Come on, well, kill them both inside and out. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. An elder of the Gue Yuan sect made up his mind. He shouted loudly, Yun Chujiu is right. We are all people from the Tian Yuan continent, why should we collude with the people from the Netherworld Palace? We cannot continue to make mistakes. If we kill them, we will still be upright people. Otherwise, we will never be able to hold our heads up high again. An elder from the side branch of the Yin family also echoed and shouted, that's right, we cannot help the evil and kill the people from the Netherworld Palace. The reason why these two people stood out was naturally because they had their own selfish motives. They had long coveted the position of the sect leader. After listening to Yun Chujia's words just now, they were moved. As long as they killed Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua, they would be able to rise to the position, they would be able to take over the position. When the two elders said this, some of the people who were originally unwilling to collude with the Hall of the Netherworld immediately started to make a ruckus. Everyone had the mentality of following the crowd. Immediately, many people who were somewhat uncertain also decided to turn against them. Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua were so angry that they gritted their teeth and shouted loudly, don't be stupid. As long as we capture these hostages, Di Baiming and Xue Wuji will not be able to break in. Don't forget, we still have the sect protecting formation. At this moment, the crowd was so excited that they did not listen to them. Moreover, Di Linhan and the others saw the right opportunity and rushed out of the courtyard, heading straight for Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua. Both sides were engaged in a chaotic battle. However, the situation had been completely reversed. Although Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua still had some direct descendants, Yun Chujia's side had completely gained the upper hand. At this moment, Dharma Protector Zhao shouted, blood sacrifice. The hundreds of people from the Netherworld Hall bit their index fingers almost at the same time. Although some of their chanting was interrupted, most of them still finished chanting. As their chanting ended, they began to use the power of the Netherworld to attack. The situation instantly reversed again. The spiritual power attacks of the cultivators from the Tianyuan continent were completely unable to resist the power of the Netherworld. However, once they were attacked by the power of the Netherworld, the cold air penetrated into their bones and their combat strength was greatly reduced. Don't use your spiritual power to attack them, just use your spiritual weapon to attack. Yun Chujiu shouted loudly. Only then did everyone react and took out their spiritual weapons to attack. Although the power of the spiritual weapon attack was not as powerful as the materialization of spiritual power, but fortunately, there were many people on the Tian Yuan continent side and they were able to block the counterattack of the Netherworld Palace. The two sides were in a stalemate for a moment. However, on the whole, the Tian Yuan continent side still had the advantage. Moreover, Yun Chujiu had already asked Di Linhan to bring people to destroy the array core. After the array core was destroyed, once Di Baiming and Xue Wuji's reinforcements arrived. Even if the people from the Netherworld Palace had the power of the Netherworld, they would definitely be defeated. Father, it's already at this moment. You shouldn't hide anymore. Let that thing out. These people deserve to die. Qin Ming's expression was ferocious, the plan that was supposed to be foolproof had been ruined by that bitch Yun Chujiu. She really deserved to die. Qin Yixiao hesitated for a moment before gritting his teeth. Under the cover of the direct descendants, he started to form seals and a ferocious beast head appeared in midair. Xueli immediately cried out in surprise, Qin Yixiao, have you gone mad? The few elders of the Gue Yuan sect also turned pale with fright. Qin Yixiao, are you trying to destroy the Gue Yuan sect? Qin Yixiao's eyes were red, he laughed ferociously, you guys forced me to do this. It's fine if I don't want the Gue Yuan sect. As long as I kill all of you, I can completely establish another super sect. All of you, listen up. Those who want to live, surrender immediately. Otherwise, none of you will survive. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Everyone stopped their attacks and raised their heads to look at the sky. The beast head in the sky looked like a tiger's head, but it had 2 horns. Moreover, everyone could feel that the spiritual energy in the air was disappearing rapidly, and the spiritual energy that had disappeared was absorbed by the huge beast head. As it absorbed more and more spiritual energy, its body also appeared and became more and more solid. It even had a pair of huge wings on its back. Xue Li and the others were frightened. They roared angrily, "Qin Yixiao, your Gui Yuan sect's original duty was to suppress the remnant soul of this fierce beast, but you actually refined it into your soul beast. You are going against the will of heaven." Qin Yixiao threw his head back and laughed, "Going against the will of heaven? This Gui Yuan sect doesn't belong to me. So what if I destroy it? You are all my enemies. So what if I kill you? How can this be called going against the will of heaven? This is called obeying the will of heaven. Qiong Qi, kill them." Yun Chujiu was shocked. Ah, this was Qiong Qi. One of the 4 great beasts, Qiong Qi. It was similar to the one in the records. She didn't expect Qin Yixiao to have such a trump card. It was really difficult to deal with. After hearing Qin Yixiao's words, Qiong Qi flapped its huge wings and pounced towards the people from the Tian Yuan continent. Everyone was so scared that they ran in all directions. However, not only did Qiong Qi have a huge body, it also had a pair of wings. In the blink of an eye, he had killed over 100 people. The eyes of Dharma Protector Zhao from the Netherworld Hall flickered a few times. He did not expect that the old thing Qin Yixiao would actually leave behind such a move. He did not expect that he actually knew the method of a soul beast. In the future, after he had conquered the Tian Yuan continent, he had to think of a way to get this soul beast of his over. Otherwise, it would be a big trouble. The people from the Tian Yuan continent were naturally not willing to sit still and wait for death. They used their spirit energy to attack that Qiong Qi with all their might. However, there was a huge disparity in strength. Moreover, there were still the people from the Netherworld Hall. The people from the Tian Yuan continent were completely in a passive position. Qin Yixiao revealed a smug smile on his face. It turned out that he was worried about the destruction of the Gui Yuan sect. Now, he no longer had any worries. With the help of the Qiong Qi, even if Di Baiming and Xue Wuji rushed in, they would be sending themselves to their deaths. Another half an hour passed. Almost half of the people of the Tianyuan continent were dead or injured. That Qiong Qi let out a strange cry, as if killing people was its greatest pleasure. Yun Chujiu knew that if this continued, even if Di Baiming and Xue Wuji rushed in, it would be useless. She had to take care of this Qiong Qi first. Yun Chujiu thought that it was a pity that the Tao Wu that she took in before was only a remnant soul and not her soul beast. Otherwise, she could let it help her. Yun Chujiu recalled the records of the Qiong Qi in the ancient books. In the end, they all came down to 4 words: punish good and punish evil. This Qiong Qi loved evil people and hated good people. Could she make something out of this? Yun Chujiu rolled her eyes and suddenly shouted, "Qiong Qi! Stop! I want to talk to you." Qiong Qi was in the middle of killing people. When it heard Yun Chujiu calling it, it opened its bloody mouth and bit Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu rolled on the ground and barely dodged Qiong Qi's attack. She gritted her teeth. Damn it, it was indeed a fierce beast. It did not even give her a chance to speak. Since that was the case, let's see just how tough you are. Yun Chujiu threw over a dozen sudden rupture talismans that she had obtained from Di Linhan towards Qiong Qi's big mouth. Qiong Qi did not dodge at all. In its eyes, these humans were simply too weak and did not have the ability to resist at all. After a few loud explosions, Qiong Qi let out a roar that shook the heavens. Yun Chujiu's explosion caused Qiong Qi's entire figure to become a little fainter. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Damn it. Xiong-Chi, you ugly freak. Look at your cowardly appearance. You don't look like a tiger nor a dragon, you're just a fool. How can you be called a fierce beast when you're cowardly after saving you? I think you're just a fool. Yun Chujio cursed while holding a stack of super-grade explosive talismans in her hand. Qin Mingzhu stood at the side and sneered. Yun Chujio was really courting death. Xiong-Chi hated her to death, yet she still dared to scold Xiong-Chi. Xiong-Chi would definitely kill her before giving up. Everyone had the same thoughts as Qin Mingzhu. Had Yun Chujio been provoked to the point of going crazy? It was already scary enough that Xiong-Chi was not angry, yet you still provoked it. Wasn't this courting death? No one expected that Xiong-Chi actually stopped attacking. Its huge eyes looked at Yun Chujio. Little ant, what do you want to say to me? Everyone was dumbfounded. Was this Xiong-Chi sick? Just now, when Yun Chujio was talking to it, it ignored Yun Chujio and attacked Yun Chujio instead. Yun Chujio blew it up and scolded it again. Instead, it wanted to listen to Yun Chujio's words. Could it be that it liked to be abused? Yun Chujio was not too surprised. It seemed that what was recorded in the ancient books was right. This Xiong-Chi liked evildoers. I have to cater to its interests. What do I want to say? I want to say that you are a brainless idiot. Your huge stature is simply wasted. Since you are a fierce beast, you should have the appearance of a fierce beast. What is the use of killing so many people? Can this reflect your identity as a fierce beast? You are a retard. You are a retard. Yun Chujio scolded fiercely. Xiong-Chi was stunned by the scolding. His huge eyeballs rolled around. Little ant, isn't killing people considered fierce? Is there anything worse than this? You're really stupid. What's so great about killing a person? Do you see what I'm holding in my hand? These talismans are so light when it comes to killing people. You're an ancient beast, yet you have the same use as these talismans. Tell me, what's the point of you being alive? You're a waste. Yun Chujia's small face was full of ridicule. Yin Xuecheng saw that Xiong-Chi's behavior was somewhat abnormal. He was afraid that it would be fooled by Yun Chujio, so he shouted loudly, Sir Xiong-Chi, don't listen to that stupid girl's nonsense. Hurry up and kill her. Xiong-Chi was thinking about what Yun Chujio said when he was interrupted by Yin Zucheng's shout. He directly slapped Yin Xuecheng to death with his claws. When Yin Qingba saw that his son was slapped to death, he was instantly enraged. Qin Yixiao. You actually allowed your soul beast to kill Xuecheng. I'll fight it out with you. Qin Yixio's heart was like a dog that was bickering. Your son was killed by Xiong-Chi for no reason. Are you blaming me? Fortunately, Yin Qinghua was still clear-headed. He shouted, second brother. With a great enemy in front of us, we should consider the overall situation. Yin Qingba thought of the situation in front of him. Even if he went forward, he was still no match for Qin Yixiao. All he had to do was to grit his teeth and remain silent. Yun Chujio was secretly happy. Damn, this Xiong-Chi was really awesome. Before anything happened, he had already helped me kill one. Moreover, he had even caused a rift between Qin Yixiao and the Yin family. This Xiong-Chi was really not bad. Xiong-Chi did not care about Yin Zucheng's death at all. It asked Yun Chujio doubtfully, little ant, then tell me, what kind of thing is worthy of my identity as a fierce beast? Of course it is worthy of a world-shaking event. For example, you killed Tao Tai, Tao Wu, and Hun Dun. You killed all three fierce beasts, so you are naturally the most powerful fierce beast. Yun Chujio said with a smile. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Hearing Yun Chujia's words, Qiong Qi said impatiently, "What you said is nonsense. Killing them is of course a big deal, but where can I find them? Besides, I'm already a remnant soul, how can I kill them? You're really stupid. Since I said so, I naturally know their whereabouts." Yun Chujio said with her mouth curled. Qiong Qi's eyes immediately widened. "You know. Where are they? They're not dead. That shouldn't be. I remember they're all dead." "Of course they're all dead, but they have remnant souls just like you," Yun Chujio said in an idiotic tone. Qiong Qi didn't care at all. Instead, it felt that such a tone was more cordial. It said with a slightly flattering tone, "Then tell me, where are they?" "Qiong Qi, I say, do you really have no brain? Why should I tell you? Is there anything good in this world? Those who help others are all idiots." Qiong Qi felt that what she said was really right. That was, only evil people should survive. Good people should die. This little girl really won my heart. Then how can you tell me their whereabouts? It's very simple. You have to do a big evil thing to make me satisfied. Yun Chujio said with a fake smile. The expression on her face was as sinister as it could be. Everyone was dumbfounded. Why did Yun Chujio suddenly look like a different person? Her expression was really too sinister and scary. Qiong Qi liked it very much. He could not wait to ask, "What kind of evil thing can satisfy you?" Yun Chujio raised her eyebrows and said two words indifferently, "Killing the master." "Killing the master?" Qiong Qi was stunned. Then, he laughed strangely, "Little ant. You are really talented." "Yes. Killing the master is the most exciting thing to do." Everyone thought that there was something wrong with their ears, or else there was something wrong with Qiong Qi's brain. Too talented. Yun Chujio is trying to trick you into killing Qi Nixiao. You are just a soul beast. If Qi Nixiao dies, wouldn't you be finished? Are you stupid? Qi Nixiao immediately shouted, "Qiong Qi. If I die, you will die too. Yun Chujio is trying to trick you. Why don't you kill her quickly?" Qi Nixiao felt that if he had exposed Yun Chujio's trap, Qiong Qi would definitely kill Yun Chujio in anger. He did not expect that Qiong Qi would actually put on a fawning look. He said to Yun Chujio, "Little fairy, I, Qiong Qi, have lived for hundreds of thousands of years. This is the first time I have met such a sinister and cunning person like you. I really like you." Everyone almost fainted. Oh God, is it because we are inexperienced, or is this Qiong Qi too strange? Is it sick? Not only is it not angry, it actually said that it likes Yun Chujio very much. Hundreds of divine beasts whizzed past Yun Chujio's heart. Damn, this Qiong Qi really rewards evil and punishes good to the extreme. I have to continue to deceive it. Pooey. Is a fool like you worthy of liking me? Hurry up and kill Qi Nixiao. Think about it, how could those three fierce beasts be as bad as you? They actually killed their own master. It's really too bad. Only then would they be worthy of your reputation as an ancient fierce beast. Qiong Qi raised its huge claws and scratched its head. It was obviously somewhat conflicted. Killing its master was naturally a big bad thing. However, after killing its master, it would die. Would it do it or not? Yun Chujio blinked her eyes, she sneered and said, "I say you're stupid, you're really stupid. If you were afraid of death, wouldn't you have killed your master's allies first? Although this isn't considered a great evil, it's still okay. Right, doesn't he have a daughter? If you kill master's daughter, it's also considered a great evil." Qiong Qi was enlightened immediately. "Little fairy, you have more evil tricks. You're right. I'll kill them first, then consider whether to kill master or not." After saying that, Qiong Qi gave Qin Mingzhu a claw. Qin Mingzhu used all her strength to leap away from Qiong Qi's attack. Qin Yixiao quickly blocked Qin Mingzhu behind him. Qiong Qi said angrily, "Qiong Qi, aren't you afraid that I'll punish you? You're just my soul beast, your spiritual sense has my spiritual sense imprint. If you continue to make trouble, I'll kill you." Qiong Qi laughed strangely, "You are protecting your daughter, this is the relationship between father and daughter. I hate the relationship between humans. I will kill your accomplice first, and then I will kill your daughter." After saying that, Qiong Qi did not continue to chase after Qin Mingzhu. Instead, he pounced towards the Netherworld Palace, Yin Qingba, and the others. The people from the Netherworld Palace were about to cry. "Qin Yixiao, Qin Yixiao, the person you released was not our helper, but Yun Chujia's helper. Is there something wrong with this damn Qiong Qi's head?" Yun Chujio tried to fool it, but it actually fell for it. It was really brainless. No matter how much they cursed in their hearts, it was useless. Qiong Qi's lethality was really too great. Although the power of the Netherworld was somewhat hindering it, the people of the Netherworld Hall also suffered heavy casualties. Dharma Protector Zhao cursed angrily, "Qin Yixiao, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and kill this damn thing. Otherwise, we will all die." Qin Yixiao was still a little hesitant. He really could not bear to part with Qiong Qi, this great killing weapon. However, seeing that the situation had gone out of control, he could only use the spiritual imprint hidden in Qiong Qi's remnant soul to prepare to kill Qiong Qi. Seeing the situation, Yun Chuzhou shouted, "Qiong Qi, you idiot. He wants to kill you, why don't you hurry up and kill him? At least before you die, you can still do such a terrible thing like killing your master." Hearing Yun Chujia's words, Qiong Qi gave Qin Yixiao a claw. After Qin Yixiao dodged, he used his spiritual imprint. Qiong Qi's huge body started to tremble, but it still continued to attack Qin Yixiao. Yun Chujia's eyes flashed, and she jumped forward to attack Qin Yixiao with several small spiritual pigs. Xueli and the others also reacted and started to attack the remaining people of the Netherworld Hall. Even though Qiong Qi's figure had already begun to fade, he still roared loudly, taking advantage of others' danger. "Little fairy, you are indeed a great villain." Yun Chuzhou did not know whether she should cry or laugh. This Qiong Qi was really a clown. Qin Yixiao had to divert his attention to deal with Yun Chuzhou, so the speed of wiping out Qiong Qi had slowed down. Qiong Qi's ferocity was aroused, and he gave Qin Yixiao a claw. Qin Yixiao hurriedly dodged. His intestines were green with regret. He originally thought that it was to release a great killing weapon, but he didn't expect that although the great killing weapon was a great killing weapon, it was a great killing weapon that didn't help. It was simply infuriating. Qiong Qi only had one goal in his heart, and that was to kill his master. Only in this way could he be worthy of the infamous name of the ancient fierce beast. Therefore, he ignored the danger of his remnant soul dissipating, and attacked Qin Yixiao with his left claw and right claw. How could Qin Yixiao be a match for Qiong Qi? After a few rounds, he was killed by Qiong Qi's claws. Qiong Qi laughed evilly, "Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I did it. I finally succeeded in killing my master. I'm the leader of the beasts." Yun Chujia's eyes flashed. Should I accept this idiot? Yun Chuzhou thought of the Tao Wu that she had accepted before. It was also a troublesome product. She might as well accept this idiot and use it to restrain Tao Wu in the future. Yun Chuzhou thought of this and secretly took out an ancient green jade bottle. She opened the bottle cap and hid the jade bottle in her sleeve, then, she shouted to Qiong Qi, "Qiong Qi, you have succeeded in killing your master. You are barely worthy of the name of a ferocious beast now. You can rest assured and die." Qiong Qi's figure had now become the size of a calf, and it was very faint. Hearing Yun Chujia's words, Xiong-chi laughed strangely. Little girl, you are indeed evil. I like you very much. Before I die, I will also take you away. As Xiong-chi said that, he rushed towards Yunchujio. Everyone could not help but be dumbfounded. Yunchujio, do you owe me? This Xiong-chi was about to disappear completely. Why did you provoke it? But now, it wanted to drag you down with it. The most shocking thing was that Yunchujio did not dodge. She even waved at Xiong-chi. Bah! Go and die. I haven't lived long enough. Look at my little Joe's thunderbolt. Yunchujio raised her right hand and shot a purple lightning at Xiong-chi. Xiong-chi did not expect Yunchujio to suddenly attack and was struck by the lightning. Xiong-chi let out a miserable cry. You are really bad. You are even worse than us beasts. Then, everyone realized that Xiong-chi had disappeared. Everyone thought that Xiong-chi's soul had already dispersed. Yunchujio secretly plugged the bottle cap and then put away the ancient jade bottle. Xiong-chi and Qin Yixiao were both dead. The people of the Tianyuan continent naturally would not let the remaining people off. Furthermore, the array core of the sect protection formation had already been destroyed. Di Baiming and Xue Wuji had also rushed over with reinforcements. Qin Ming's expression was ferocious as she rushed towards Yunchujio. Bitch! It's all because of you. If it wasn't for you, my family wouldn't have been destroyed. I want to kill you. Yunchujio said indifferently. Qin Mingzhu, did I ask you to drug me? Did I ask you to incite your father to collude with the Netherworld Hall? Your selfishness and vanity harmed yourself and your father. Therefore, the main culprit for all of this is your greed and viciousness. No. You're talking nonsense. It's all your fault. I'm going to kill you. Qin Mingzhu attacked Yunchujio as if she was crazy. Yunchujio sneered. She was too lazy to fight with Qin Mingzhu. She directly said to Bai Li, who was beside her, Old Master Medicine King, I'll leave this little bitch to you. I'm too tired. Bai Li, Qing Tian. Although Bai Li Qing Tian's heart was like a muttering dog, he could only follow Yunchujio's instructions and slap Qin Mingzhu. Qin Mingzhu was no match for Bai Li Qing Tian. In just a few rounds, she was killed by Bai Li Qing Tian. Yin Qinghua and Yin Qingba were also killed by Xue Li and the others. Only the people of the Netherworld Hall were still struggling with the power of the Netherworld. However, it was only a matter of time before they were killed. This was because their number was much smaller than the number of people on the Tianyuan continent. Dharma Protector Zhao gritted his teeth. It seemed that the tide had already turned. It was better to save his life than to leave the Green Mountain with nothing to burn. Thinking of this, Dharma Protector Zhao bit his index finger and formed a seal with his hands, disappearing from the spot. Once Dharma Protector Zhao left, the remaining members of the Netherworld Hall were leaderless. Soon, they were either killed or captured by Di Baiming and the others. The catastrophe that was supposed to be on the Tianyuan continent came to an end just like that. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. However, Yunchujio was feeling a little uneasy. The method that Dharma Protector Zhao used to disappear was extremely similar to the secret technique of the Divine Devil Hall. Could it be that this so-called Hall of the Netherworld was related to the Divine Devil Hall? Although Yunchujio was feeling uneasy, she still had to deal with the aftermath first. She could only temporarily put this matter to the back of her mind. Everyone began to clean up the battlefield. Xue Wuji jumped in front of Yunchujio. Little sister Jiu, you're too ungrateful. You've solved all the problems, making me look so useless. Originally, I wanted to kill everyone, but now, I'm not helping at all. Yunchujio smiled brightly. Brother Wuji, there's nothing I can do. Who asked me to be so amazing? Now, even dark clouds can't hide my talent. When everyone heard that, Yun Chujia's glorious image in their hearts instantly crumbled. Little Fairy Jiu, is it really alright for you to be so narcissistic? The aftermath of the incident could not be completed in a day or two. After this incident, the Gui Yuan sect and the Yin family had to re-elect the family head. If things went wrong, there might even be an internal conflict. Yun Chuzhou and the others naturally could not interfere, so they all bid their goodbyes. The few elders of the Gui Yuan sect urged them to stay, and then they took the opportunity to agree. They did not have the mood to entertain these people at the moment, so they were fully prepared to fight for the position of sect leader. Yun Chuzhou thought of Ziheng and his son, so she said to the few elders of the Gui Yuan sect, "Elders, I have a presumptuous request. I wonder if you will agree." The few elders' hearts trembled. They had long heard that this Yun Chuzhou was a wild goose that plucked feathers. What request did she have? Could it be that she wanted to blackmail us? However, the Gui Yuan sect was in the wrong in this matter. The few elders had no choice but to bite the bullet and ask, "Little Fairy Jiu, if you have any requests, feel free to mention them. What are you all so nervous about? Don't worry, I don't want money. I just want 2 people from you. Manager's son and his son from the canteen are old acquaintances of mine. I want to take them away." "You won't disagree, right?" Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. The elders heaved a sigh of relief. It turned out that they only wanted 2 people. Moreover, there was only 1 cook and 1 cripple. What was the big deal? Just give them to her. Little Fairy Jiu is really too polite. Since they are old acquaintances of yours, then you can take them away. Men, call manager's son and his son over. Take their identity jade tokens and let them leave with Little Fairy Jiu. Very quickly, manager's son and his mother were brought over. Di Linhan and the others were initially puzzled as to why Yun Chuzhou wanted a pair of servants, but when they saw that delicate and handsome youth, they had a little understanding in their hearts. Although this youth's legs were not very agile. But this calm and bearing did not seem like an ordinary person, he probably had a background. Manager's son was scared silly by what had happened today. Fortunately, Ziheng was there to comfort them. Yun Chuzhou smiled at them and said, "Aunt son, Ziheng, come with me." Manager's son realized that the little girl in front of him was not Daybreak at all. His heart was in a mess. What was going on? Ziheng smiled faintly and nodded. He took manager's son's hand and stood behind Yun Chuzhou. Lan Xiang and the servants who had bullied Yun Chuzhou were trembling with fear at this moment. They were afraid that Yun Chuzhou would find trouble with them. Yun Chuzhou only glanced at them and ignored them. These small figures were not worth her revenge at all. After the few elders of Gui Yuan sect sent off Yun Chuzhou and the others, the first thing they did was to find the bodies of Qin Yixiao and Qin Mingzhu. Their purpose was very clear. They wanted to find their storage rings. Many of the Gui Yuan sect's treasures and spirit stones should be in the hands of the father and daughter. However, what shocked them was that their hands were empty and there were no storage rings at all. Could it be that someone was taking advantage of the situation? After interrogating the disciples, no one saw anyone stealing the rings. It was really strange. Where did their rings go? The members of the Yin family were also furious. Yin Qinghua and Yin Qingba's storage rings had also disappeared without a trace. The elders of the Gui Yuan sect and the Yin family immediately began to blame each other. They all suspected that the other party had taken advantage of the chaos to take advantage of the ring and almost started a fight. Then, where did the rings of the 4 of them go? Cough cough, of course, they were taken away by Yun Chuzhou, the Yenghua plucking the feathers. While others were fighting, this guy covered for Xiao He and took away Qin Yixiao and the others' rings. This guy was very confident. She had solved the disaster in the Tian Yuan continent, so it was reasonable for her to take away such a small reward. This guy secretly looked at the things in the ring. He was so happy that he couldn't close his mouth. He was rich. Qin Yixiao and Yin Qinghua were both suspicious people, so they naturally carried the good things with them. Therefore, there were naturally a lot of good things in the storage ring. Little sister Jiu, what are you smiling about? Xue Wuji asked curiously. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes. I'm naturally happy that the crisis is over. Di Baiming guessed correctly in his heart. Little Jiu must have gotten some good stuff again. However, what was up with that Ziheng? An old acquaintance? Where did she get an old acquaintance from? As the Tian Yuan Academy was about to start in a few days, Yun Chujiu decided to return to Tian Yuan Academy directly. Although Di Baiming was reluctant, he could not stop her. Prince Charming, Aunt Sun and Ziheng will temporarily return to the Hall of Immortals with you. Aunt Sun's pasta is not bad, you can let her go to the canteen. As for Ziheng, you can make the arrangements. They have helped me a lot, you have to take care of them for me. Yun Chujiu said to Di Baiming. Di Baiming nodded. Little Jiu, the spies in the Hall of the Netherworld have made some progress. We should be able to get the portraits of Sheng Nv and the man in a while. I'll come and look for you then. Yun Chujiu said in surprise, really? That's great. I think there's a high chance that they are my adoptive parents. After we confirm them, we can discuss how to save them. The two of them chatted for a while more before parting. Xue Wuji jumped over. Little sister Jiu, I'll escort you back to Tian Yuan Academy. Yun Chujiu looked at him suspiciously. Brother Wuji, why do I feel that your drunken intentions aren't in the wine? What danger can I face if I go back with Dean Huangfu and the others? Xue Wuji's eyes flickered and revealed an aggrieved expression. Little sister Jiu, how can you misunderstand my good intentions? You've really made brother too sad. Alright, it's my fault. Let's go. Let's go. Yun Chujiu curled her lips. Wu Ji must be hiding something from me. However, since he didn't say anything, I couldn't be bothered to ask. After all, he wouldn't harm me. A few days later, everyone returned to the Tian Yuan Academy. Xue Wuji strolled around the Tian Yuan Academy for a while before using the bait to leave. Yun Chujiu curled her lips and ignored him. Xue Wuji brought secret protector Hua Hua to the mansion in Void City. Several secret guards appeared and knelt on the ground. Xue Wuji gritted his teeth and asked, still no news of that woman. She hasn't come back either. Young master, we've searched almost all of Void City, but there's still no news of that woman. We've also searched the surrounding cities, but there's still no trace of her. A bunch of trash. Where can a person without spiritual power run to? Keep looking. If you still can't find her within half a year, you don't have to come back to see me. Xue Wuji said in exasperation. Over the past 2 months, Xue Wuji had often thought of that woman and that seductive night. The more he could not find her, the more he wanted to find her. Damn woman. When I find you, I will definitely teach you a good lesson. You slept with me and did not admit to it after putting on your clothes. How could such a good thing happen? This time, Xue Wuji came to Idol City with a trace of luck in his heart. Perhaps that damn woman would see him and come to find him. The facts proved that Xue Wuji was overthinking things. He lingered in Idol City for a few days, but there was no news of that woman. Xue Li kept urging him to return to the Blood Demon sect, so he could only leave Idol City with a disappointed expression. Before Xue Wuji left, he went to say goodbye to Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu could see that he had something on his mind, so she asked a few more questions. Xue Wuji gave her an excuse. Xue Wuji thought to himself, I was actually raped by a woman, and I even put on my clothes and ran away. I can't even say such a shameful thing even if I'm beaten to death. Let's talk about it after I find that damn woman. Seeing that Xue Wuji wasn't willing to say anything, Yun Chuzhou couldn't ask any more questions. She waved her little handkerchief and sent Shui Wuji away. Deputy Dean Yin and Yin Sulian didn't go to Gue Yuan sect that day. They claimed that they knew nothing about the Yin family colluding with the Netherworld Hall, and they didn't have any real evidence, so they weren't punished. Deputy Dean Yin was still the Deputy Dean of Tianyuan Academy, and Yin Sulian still came to school as scheduled. However, Yin Sulian had lost the halo of the Yin family's second young miss, so those lackeys would naturally stop supporting her. It would be good enough if they did not take the opportunity to step on her. Yin Sulian seemed to have changed into a completely different person. She spent all her time cultivating except for class. When she met Yun Chuzhou, she also lowered her head to avoid her, but her lowered eyes seemed to have been poisoned. Yun Chuzhou. You caused me to lose everything. Sooner or later, I will kill you for revenge. Master, why didn't you kill that little bitch, Yin Sulian, and that old bastard, Deputy Dean Yin? Xiao Hanio asked in puzzlement. He did not believe that his black-hearted master would believe their nonsense. Of course, it's to bait the big fish with a long line. The people of the Netherworld Palace will not let this go. If they want to find an insider again, that old bastard, Yin Haoyu, is the best target. Yin Sulian is a brainless person. When the time comes, we can find a breakthrough from her. As long as we let people keep an eye on them, we will be able to learn about the Netherworld Palace's conspiracy. Moreover, we might even be able to use them to pass on some fake news. Just thinking about it is very wonderful. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. At this moment, the little black bird agreed with what Qiong Qi said. This black-hearted master was really full of evil tricks. Yun Chuzhou told Dean Huangfu about her intention. Dean Huangfu immediately arranged for people to keep an eye on Deputy Dean Yin and Yin Sulian. Once there was any movement, they would report it to him. Yun Chuzhou was most troubled by the fact that her spiritual power level had been stuck at the 8th level of the Spirit Saint realm and she was still unable to break through to the Spiritual Venerable realm. If she reached the Spiritual Venerable realm, she could at least go back to the Qingxian continent and show off. No, she could at least go back and visit her relatives and friends. Moreover, only when she reached the Spiritual Venerable realm could she learn more skills from the old man. However, why didn't this damn heavenly lightning strike her? Yun Chuzhou thought for a long time and finally came up with a bad idea. This fellow came to her courtyard and after opening the isolation array, he took out the ancient green jade bottle containing Tao Wu and Qiong Qi, holding one in each hand. He raised his head and shouted towards the sky, Tian Dao, old bastard, look at what I'm holding in my hand. Old bastard, I am holding the remnant souls of the ancient beasts Tao Wu and Qiong Qi. Are you just going to stand there and do nothing? If I accidentally turn these two into my soul beasts, wouldn't you be unable to kill me? Aren't you going to send heavenly lightning to strike me? Yun Chuzhou said arrogantly. Tao Wu and Qiong Qi who were inside the ancient jade bottle were instantly dumbfounded. Tao Wu's thoughts, fuck. This damned brat, has she gone crazy? If she were to attract the heavenly lightning, I won't be able to live and she won't be able to live either. Qiong Qi's thoughts, oh my god. This little fairy is really too evil. I really like her to the point of no return. If I can die together with her, it wouldn't be too bad. Needless to say, Yun Chuzhou's evil trick really worked. Not long after, the sky darkened. Yun Chuzhou's heart was filled with joy as she took the two green jade bottles and ran towards Dean Huangfu's courtyard. In fact, she didn't need to hide it anymore. After all, everyone knew how abnormal she was now. She wasn't afraid of being struck by lightning. However, she thought to herself that if her courtyard was struck by lightning, she would have to clean it up. It was better to let the heavenly lightning strike old man Huangfu's courtyard. Yun Chuzhou ran to Dean Huangfu's courtyard. Dean Huangfu was already waiting in the courtyard. When he saw that the sky suddenly turned dark, he guessed that the little freak was about to break through. Dean Huangfu opened the isolation array with ease. He took out a chair and sat in the corner. He even took out a lot of spirit potatoes and threw them to Yun Chuzhou. The corner of Yun Chuzhia's eyes twitched. Did he really treat her like a roasted spirit potato? The students of Tianyuan Academy were also used to it. Yun Chuzhou was definitely going to be struck again. Only the freshmen were dumbfounded. Why did the sky suddenly darken? Wu Yun quickly gathered above Dean Huangfu's courtyard. The immense pressure was suffocating. However, Yun Chuzhia's face was full of smiles. Ha ha ha, this was great. She was finally going to be struck by lightning again. Boom! A purple heavenly lightning as thick as an arm struck down towards Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou impatiently absorbed the heavenly lightning into her body. Then, she said to the sky, "Little Yun Yun, quick, give me another 10,000 heavenly lightning bolts. Strike me to your heart's content." Wu Yun was helpless in the sky. Who did not know that this pervert could not be struck to death? Even if the strike was very strong, she would still run into the trial tower to avoid it. It was simply infuriating. However, they did not dare not come, so they could only strike down step by step. After striking for a while, they saw an ugly black bird and a Xiao Mogu appear below. They were all waiting to be struck with a look of enjoyment. Wu Yun was so angry that he was about to collapse. He had seen that bird before, but why was there another abnormal Xiao Mogu? As expected, the kind of master had the kind of spirit pet and demonic plant. Dean Huangfu, who was waiting in the corner to roast the spirit potato, was also dumbfounded. Xiao Mogu was not afraid of being struck by lightning. The little abnormal things were indeed abnormal. The heavenly lightning continued for a full 10 hours, from the afternoon until late at night. The students who were watching from afar yawned and left. Only Feng Ming and the others were still waiting in the distance. Although they knew that Yun Chuzhou would be fine. But they still felt relieved when they saw that she was safe and sound with their own eyes. Finally, the heavenly lightning began to become sparse. Yun Chuzhou flew out of the pit in high spirits and waved her claws at the dark clouds in the sky. "Not bad, try to strike a little more next time," Wu Yun said. The dark clouds in the sky twitched and flew away while trembling. Tao Wu and Xiong Qi, who had already been put into the spiritual beast bag, waited for a long time without any abnormalities. They were not Yun Chuzhia's soul beasts, so they naturally could not know the situation outside. The two of them were puzzled. Did the heavenly thunder not come at all? Otherwise, why did nothing happen? Yun Chuzhou was starving after being struck for a long time. Hence, she took out a chair from her storage ring and sat opposite Dean Huangfu. The old and the young were wolfing down the roasted spiritual potatoes. Dean Huangfu frowned. "Little Jiu, why do I see the mark of the Gui Yuan sect on this chair?" "I took it out of convenience." "Dean, guess what my spiritual power level is now?" Yun Chuzhou started to change the topic without batting an eyelid. This guy thought to himself, "Damn, this broken chair actually has a mark on it. I almost gave it away. I have to be more careful next time." Dean Huangfu's attention was indeed diverted. He did not know that Yun Chuzhou had secretly broken through several times. However, he felt that Yun Chuzhou must have hidden her strength, so he used his courage to guess, 8th level of the Spirit Saint realm. Yun Chuzhou bared her little white teeth and stretched out 2 fingers. The roasted spirit potato in Dean Huangfu's hand dropped to the ground with a thud. "Spirit, 2nd level of the Spirit Paragon realm." Yun Chuzhou nodded with a smile. "If it weren't for the damn heavenly lightning that stopped striking, I might have broken through to the next level." Dean Huangfu only had 2 words in his mind, pervert. Yun Chuzhou chewed on a few roasted spirit potatoes and clapped her hands. "Dean, I'm going back. I wish you a good sleep. After a long while, Dean Huangfu finally came back to his senses. He looked at the few deep pits in the courtyard and shook his head with a bitter smile. This heavenly thunder spirit root was indeed abnormal. In just 2 years, it had actually broken through from the first level of the spirit sect to the second level of the spirit paragon realm. Such a speed was simply unheard of. His Excellency and young Master Wuji were already extremely talented. He did not expect that Yun Chuzhou would actually be better. It had been a long time since anyone had ascended to a higher level of the Tian Yuan continent. Perhaps these 3 people could ascend. Yun Chuzhou was in a good mood. She returned to her dormitory under the escort of Feng Ming and the others. This fellow did not care that it was already late at night. He took out his voice transmission talisman and sent a message to Di Biming. Dear Prince Charming, I have good news for you. I have broken through to the second level of the spiritual venerable realm. In a few days, we can return to the Qin Xian continent to show off. Ah, visiting relatives. Not long after, the voice transmission talisman started to vibrate. The corner of Yun Chujia's mouth curled up. The boyfriend who replied instantly was the cutest. Little Joe, I also have good news for you. My spiritual power has finally broken through. Di Biming's excited voice came from the voice transmission talisman. Then what is your spiritual power level now? Yun Chuzhou asked impatiently. 8th level of the spiritual venerable realm. There was a hint of excitement in Di Biming's voice. He had been stuck at the 7th level of the spiritual venerable realm for 2 years, and this time, he finally succeeded in breaking through. Yun Chuzhou said with a slightly sour tone, then congratulations. Perhaps, you will ascend very soon. How could Di Biming understand Yun Chujia's sour mood? He replied with a smile, I hope so. I can only protect you better by becoming stronger. Moreover, when I reach a higher level continent, perhaps I can help you find a way to solve the problem of Guai Chao. Yun Chuzhou felt a little better after hearing Di Biming's words. Luckily, the gigolo still had a conscience. However, what would she do if he ascended first? Yun Chuzhou hesitated for a moment, then she spat at herself. Yun Chuzhou, oh Yun Chuzhou, look at you. Don't you even have this bit of confidence? Not to mention that the gigolo just ascended first, even if he became a god first, so what? Worrying about gains and losses is not my character, Yun Chuzhou. If the gigolo dares to betray me, I will kill him. It's all this damn Guai Chao's fault. If it wasn't for it, would I be able to eat the pretty boy clean? Damn dog's tail. Go away ba. Guai Chao was already used to it. Yun Chuzhou would definitely scold it a few hundred times every once in a while, so it could only listen obediently. A few days later, it happened to be the day of rest. Just as Yun Chuzhou was considering whether she should go to Long Wind Inn, a student ran over. Yun Chuzhou, Lan Luochen is waiting for you at the academy's entrance. He says he has something to ask you. Yun Chujia's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that he had come to take revenge for the 2 white lotuses? The last time she hit Lan Luok's sore spot, it was enough for her to suffer for 3 days and 3 nights. Was this brother standing up for his younger sister? Yun Chuzhou came to the entrance of the academy and saw a group of female students surrounding Lan Luochen. However, due to his cold expression, no one dared to approach him. When Lan Luochen saw Yun Chuzhou coming out, a faint smile appeared on his face. Those female students were so mesmerized that they almost fainted. In their hearts, they were extremely envious of Yun Chuzhou, but they didn't dare to hate her. This guy was simply a great weapon. Unless they didn't want to live anymore, they would only dare to hate her. Lan Luochen, are you looking for me? Yun Chuzhou smiled as she walked to Lan Luchen's side. Yes, let's go to the Drunken Immortal restaurant to talk. It's not very convenient to talk here. Lan Luochen said lightly. Yun Chuzhou thought about it. It was indeed inconvenient to have so many fangirls here, so she eagerly followed Lan Luochen to the Drunken Immortal restaurant. When the staff of the Drunken Immortal restaurant saw the two of them coming over, especially when they saw Yun Chuzhou, they were extremely attentive and moved the two of them to the private room on the second floor. After ordering the dishes, Yun Chuzhou asked, Lan Luochen, why are you looking for me? Are you looking for me to settle the score for your sister and mother? Lan Luochen shook his head. I know my mother and Luok's personalities. I had no idea that they had gone to the Temple of Immortals. If I knew, I would have definitely stopped them. I'm not here to settle the score with you. On the contrary, I'm here to thank you for being lenient and not being ruthless towards them. Yun Chuzhou was stunned. She did not expect Lan Luochen to say this no matter what she said. She was a little embarrassed that he was so polite. She laughed dryly. Hee, since it's already over, let's not talk about it anymore. What have you been busy with these days? Lan Luchen's eyes flickered slightly. I'm only busy with some family matters. I heard that a few days ago, you resolved another plot of the Netherworld Hall against the Tian Yuan continent. Yun Chuzhou immediately recounted the events with great joy. Of course, there were some places that needed to be modified. For example, the forbidden area of the Temple of Immortals and Zheng's identity as a spirit master. However, this fellow was an expert at lying, there was no problem in justifying himself. Lan Luochen had a faint smile on his face as he listened to Yun Chuzhou showing off. The color in his eyes turned dark. He had to think of a way to get little Jiu. Only by looking at her could he feel the joy of living. Just as Yun Chuzhou was showing off, a person walked in from outside the door. Yun Chuzhou was tongue-tied and said with a slight guilty conscience, Prince Charming, why are you here? This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.